If I picked a day to fly, oh, this would be it. The Festival of Fools. It will be fun. The jugglers and music and dancing. Go on. Nobody wants to be cooped up here forever.
I first learned about Notre Dame Cathedral, or Notre Dame as the French would call this iconic landmark in Paris, from one of the most beautiful Disney movies, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. The story of Quasimodo is a beautiful tale of courage, kindness, and self-acceptance. As you just saw in the clip, Quasimodo is the hunchback who is cooped up in the bell tower of the cathedral and wishes to experience the world beyond. Just like his bird friend, he helped take flight. The expression cooped up, which he used, means being kept inside a building or a small space for a long time. Before we get started with the lesson, I should tell you that all the words and expressions you learned today are waiting for you to practice on the Real Life app. Our app is where you can experience these lessons in a much more powerful way, with great resources for you to master the vocabulary you're learning and remember it forever. And you can unlock today's lesson completely for free if it's your first one by clicking the link in the description below. Now, this is how the lesson will work. First, we'll watch the scene with the subtitles. And then you'll learn the key vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. And finally, you'll test your comprehension by watching the scene one more time without subtitles and answering some quiz questions. Now, let's watch the clip with Quasimodo and Esmeralda.
What is this place?
This is where I live.
Did you make all these things yourself?
Most of them.
This is beautiful. Oh, if I could do this, you wouldn't find me dancing in the streets for coins.
But you're a wonderful dancer.
Well, it keeps bread on the table anyway. What's this?
Oh, no, please. I'm not finished. I still have to paint them.
It's the blacksmith. And the baker. You're a surprising person, Quasimodo. Not to mention lucky. All this room to yourself?
Well, it's not just me. There's the gargoyles, and of course the bells. Would you like to see them?
Yes, of course. Wouldn't we, Jolly?
Follow me. I'll introduce you.
Guys, if you're new to this channel, you should know that every week we make lessons just like this one to help you understand your favorite movies and TV series without getting lost, without missing the jokes, and without subtitles. So if that's something you want to be able to do, subscribe and hit the bell down below not to miss a single new lesson. So we see Esmeralda and Quasimodo on the roof of this famous cathedral. This is where he lives and spends a lot of time alone. To cope with his solitude, he surrounds himself with these little wooden figurines, these small models of the citizens he sees every day from above, from his confinement. He even crafted a detailed miniature of the city of Paris, a beautiful representation of his passionate desire to explore the world beyond the cathedral walls. So Esmeralda asks this.
This is where I live.
Did you make all these things yourself?
If you make something yourself, you make it with your own hands, using your skills and effort, rather than relying on someone else to do it for you or buying it. She's so impressed that she follows.
This is beautiful. Oh, if I could do this, you wouldn't find me dancing in the streets for coin.
That's an imaginary situation. She's basically saying she would have a different life. If she had his skills, she wouldn't have to dance in the streets for money. This is an example of the conditional sentence, the second type, an imaginary situation in the present or future. Here are some more examples.
I think I could make you understand if you would just listen. Listen!
But if I could stay, I would be so happy to be the best that I was capable of being.
You think not?
I would gladly think otherwise if I could.
But you're a wonderful dancer.
Well, it keeps bread on the table anyway.
In the same way that Esmeralda was impressed by his talent, Kwasi was equally fascinated by her dancing. He says she dances beautifully, and she replies that her dancing keeps bread on the table. To put bread on the table is to earn enough money to live and sustain your basic needs.
What's this?
Oh, no, please, I'm not finished. I still have to paint them.
It's the blacksmith. And the baker. You're a surprising person, Quasimodo. Not to mention lucky.
Here she's looking at the figurines of the blacksmith and the baker. A blacksmith is a person who works with metal, shaping and repairing objects made from iron or steel. In the past, blacksmiths played a vital role in communities before industrial machines took over. That's why the surname Smith became so popular in English-speaking countries. It was tied to such a common trade. And speaking of Smith, remember Mr. and Mrs. Smith? The spies chose that surname because it's so ordinary, making it the perfect cover. Although the profession of blacksmith isn't as common now, you can still find goldsmiths and silversmiths, artists working with these precious metals.
What's this?
Oh, no, please, I'm not finished. I still have to paint them.
It's the blacksmith. And the baker.
You might be buying bread from your local baker, and the shop would be called a bakery. A bakery is a place where various baked goods are made and sold, such as bread, cakes, pastries, and cookies. Some bakeries even offer coffee or sandwiches, making them popular spots for breakfast or a midday snack. We've covered some nice words already, and an idiom. And do you remember it? When you put bread on the table, it means you earn enough money to cover your basic needs like food. But the question is, do you think you will remember this idiom when you need it? I mean, this is quite a common situation for many English learners. You get into a conversation and right when you need to use a certain expression you've learned, it doesn't come to you. Your brain goes blank. I know that feels really frustrating to not be able to express yourself the way you'd like. I've been there myself. And that is exactly why we created the Real Life English app, to help you become a confident, natural English speaker by practicing with these lessons the way they were meant to be. On the app, every lesson like this one, with movies, TV series, and podcasts, it comes with a full transcript and a deck of flashcards of the most advanced expressions. And by practicing just 10-15 minutes daily, you'll be able to remember the words and expressions you're learning forever. This happens because of this spaced repetition technology we developed, which lets you review the words just when you're about to forget them. Can you imagine being able to use all this vocabulary in your next real-life conversation in English? This is what you can get with the Real Life English app, and you can unlock this lesson you're watching right now for free by clicking the link in the description below. You can also look for Real Life English in the App Store or Google Play, but the link below will take you straight to the lesson, which is free if it's your first one. So I'll see you there.
You're a surprising person, Quasimodo. Not to mention lucky. All this room to yourself?
Well, it's not just me. There's the gargoyles and...
Esmeralda says Kwasi is a surprising person, and that she adds, not to mention lucky. Not to mention is a phrase used to introduce an additional piece of information, as we also see here in this example.
Who needs the approval of one family member when you can have it from millions of acquaintances? Not to mention that little cutlet Sam Sparks. And me.
Not to mention lucky. All this room to yourself?
Well, it's not just me. There's the gargoyles and, of course, the bells. Would you like to see them?
Yes, of course.
Gargoyles are stone statues often associated with Gothic architecture. They are typically found on buildings and serve a practical purpose as water spouts, directing rainwater away from the walls. Let's make sure you pronounce it correctly. Gargoyles. The word gargoyle might remind you of gargle, which means washing your mouth and throat with liquid. So gargoyles really resemble gargling when the rainwater pours out of their mouths.
Of course, the bells. Would you like to see them?
Yes, of course. Wouldn't we, Jolly?
Follow me.
Jolly is a fun character who adds humor to the story. We see him munching on those little figurines and then slurping one into his mouth. To munch is to chew food loudly, and when you slurp, you make a loud sucking sound while drinking. Slurping is considered impolite in many Western cultures, but I heard it is acceptable or even complimentary in some East Asian cultures. For example, slurping noodles in Japan. I've never been to Japan, so if that information isn't correct, please let me know in the comments. And now, before we move on to learning with the second part of this scene, let's break down some of the connected speech we just heard to help you practice your pronunciation.
What is this place?
The T sound from what is followed by the vowel sound and is turned into a D sound. What is? Listen again and repeat.
What is this place? What is this place? Did you make all these things yourself?
The combination of letters D plus Y in did you gives a new sound, J, did you. Listen again and repeat.
Did you make all these things yourself? Did you make all these things yourself?
But you're a wonderful dancer.
The combination of letters T plus Y in but your gives a new sound, Ch, but your. Listen again and repeat.
But you're a wonderful dancer. But you're a wonderful dancer. Would you like to see them?
Yes, of course.
And again, what we see here is the D plus Y letters giving us the J sound in would you. Would you? And remember to reduce the word to into ta. Would you? Would you like to? Would you like to see them? Listen again and repeat.
Would you like to see them?
Yes.
Would you like to see them?
Yes.
Now, let's watch the rest of the scene where Esmeralda is amazed by the beautiful view from the bell tower. However, she also feels sad as she realizes she can't be happy locked within the cathedral walls if she doesn't have her freedom.
I never knew there were so many.
That's little Sophia. And Jean Marie, Anne Marie, Louise Marie. Triplets, you know.
And who's this?
Big Marie.
Hello!
She likes you. Would you like to see more?
How about it, Jolly? We'd love to.
Good. I say the best for last.
I bet the king himself doesn't have a view like this. I could stay up here forever.
You could, you know.
No, I couldn't.
Oh, yes, you have sanctuary.
But not freedom. Gypsies don't do well inside stone walls.
But you're not like other gypsies. They are evil.
Who told you that?
My master, Frollo. He raised me.
How can such a cruel man have raised someone like you?
Cruel? Oh, no. He saved my life. He took me in when no one else would.
Give me your hand.
Why?
Just let me see it. A long lifeline. Oh, and this one means you're shy. Well, that's funny.
What?
I don't see any.
Any what?
Monster lines. Not a single one. Now you look at me. Do you think I'm evil?
No.
It's fascinating how people form attachments to objects by naming them. As you have learned, Kwasi lives a solitary life here in the bell tower, so he sees the bells as his friends. He even gave them names. It's actually quite common to give names to objects like ships, cars, or even bells. Let's watch the scene part by part and learn some great vocabulary.
That's little Sophia. And Jean Marie, Anne Marie, Louise Marie. Triplets, you know.
Kwasi calls these three bells triplets. If two siblings are born at the same time to the same parent, they are called twins. If there are 3 children, they are called triplets. And if 4 children are born, they would be called quadruplets, and that's very rare.
She likes you. Would you like to see more?
How about it, Charlie?
We'd love to.
Now, Quasi wants to show Esmeralda a beautiful view of the city. Eager to follow him, she first stops to ask her goat, and she says, "How about it?" This is a contraction of the question, "How about it?" and it's often used when suggesting or proposing something in a casual and informal way. We see that the word about loses its sound at the beginning, and the word how forms one chunk with the rest of the word. How about? Then the T sound before the vowel turns into a D sound. Bout it. How about it? Listen and repeat.
How about it, Charlie? How about it, Charlie? I bet the king himself doesn't have a view like this.
The scene is magical. We can see the Seine, the major river running through Paris. The Seine is often depicted in art and literature as a symbol of romance and inspiration. Esmeralda then says that even the king himself doesn't have a view like this. She uses the word "I bet" to show that she strongly believes that. I bet is a great way to express confidence or a strong belief about something. Check it out in this example.
I bet he's hungry. How about some milk? Ooh, I'd love some.
Not you.
But how did you understand the expression to have a view?
I bet the king himself doesn't have a view like this.
You can have a hotel room with a sea view. In this case, Esmeralda is referring to the stunning view of the Seine and Paris they are seeing from the bell tower. When she says, "I bet even the king himself doesn't have a view like this," she means the king is not able to see this beautiful view. So it's important not to confuse this with the phrase "to have your point of view," which refers to your opinions and ideas about something. Quasi says that Esmeralda could stay here with him and enjoy this view whenever she wants. She has sanctuary.
I could stay up here forever.
You could, you know.
No, I couldn't.
Oh, yes, you have sanctuary.
But not freedom.
When you have sanctuary, it means you have a safe place, especially from danger or harm. In the past, churches used to offer protection to people who needed asylum. In other words, that means shelter, usually given to foreign citizens who had to flee their country. Let's check this next part where they have an interesting conversation about gypsies and Frollo's opinion of them.
Oh, yes, you have sanctuary.
But not freedom. Gypsies don't do well inside stone walls.
But you're not like other gypsies. They are evil.
Who told you that?
My master, Frollo. He raised me.
The term gypsies is often used to describe the Romani people, an ethnic group that originally came from northern India and migrated to Europe. This scene reflects old stereotypes where gypsies were seen as evil or morally bad, wicked, and harmful. Throughout European history, Romani people were marginalized and wrongly accused of theft and black magic. Today, the word gypsy is considered offensive by some, so Romani or Roma would be the preferred term.
My master, Frollo. He raised me.
How can such a cruel man have raised someone like you?
Cruel? Oh, no. He saved my life. He took me in when no one else would. I am a monster, you know.
He told you that?
Look at me.
Frollo is the main antagonist of the story and the archdeacon of Notre Dame Cathedral. As Quasimodo says, Frollo took him in and raised him. To take someone in means to provide shelter or care when they need it. Quasimodo feels grateful because Frollo gave him a home when no one else would and raised him. To raise a child means to bring up a child. If you watch the full movie or read the novel, you'll learn more about Frollo's villainous side. Now, you did a great job. We had a wonderful lesson today with so many new words. Let's see how well you understand the clip without subtitles. It's time for a test.
What is this place?
This is where I live.
Did you make all these things yourself?
Most of them.
This is beautiful. Oh, if I could do this, you wouldn't find me dancing in the streets for coins.
But you're a wonderful dancer.
Well, it keeps bread on the table anyway.
What does the idiom "a bread on the table" mean? Bringing bread to your table every day? Earning a living or providing for one's family? Preparing a fancy meal for guests?
What's this?
Oh, no, please. I'm not finished. I still have to paint them.
It's the blacksmith. And the baker. You're a surprising person, Quasimodo. Not to mention lucky.
Find the sentence where it would be correct to use the phrase "not to mention." The hotel had a beautiful view, not to mention the excellent service.
All this room to yourself?
Well, it's not just me. There's the gargoyles, and of course the bells. Would you like to see them?
Yes, of course. Wouldn't we, Jolly?
Follow me. I'll introduce you.
I never knew there were so many.
That's little Sophia. And Jean Marie, Anne Marie, Louise Marie. Triplets, you know.
And who's this?
Big Marie.
If there are 3 siblings born to the same parent, they will be called triplets.
I bet the king himself doesn't have a view like this. I could stay up here forever.
You could, you know.
No, I couldn't.
Oh, yes, you have sanctuary.
But not freedom. Gypsies don't do well inside stone walls.
But you're not like other gypsies. They are evil.
In which sentence does the word "view" mean a scene? He has a different view on how we should approach the project. The hotel room offered an amazing view of the ocean. From my point of view, the meeting went well.
Who told you that?
My master, Frollo. He raised me.
How can such a cruel man have raised someone like you?
Cruel? Oh, no. He saved my life. He took me in when no one else would. I am a monster, you know.
He told you that?
Look at me.
Give me your hand.
What?
Just let me see it. A long lifeline. Oh, and this one means you're shy. Well, that's funny.
What?
I don't see any.
Any what?
Monster lines. Not a single one.
What do you think "take me in" means in this sentence? He took me in when no one else would. That's it for today, guys. A great job. Remember to practice new words and expressions with the flashcards on the Real Life English app. You'll find a special link right in the description below. Just use your smartphone to get started. It's the easiest way to make these words stick with you forever. If you're a fan of Disney movies, check out this lesson next.
Wait here. So, lemonade?
Do you often leave your sister home alone?
No, never. Well, except for just now. I had to run to the store to get some...
You left the stove on while you were out.
Chloe! Just a simmer. It's coming along great. There you are.